Last summer, protests took over streets here in the Valley and all over the country after a series of high-profile cases of questionable and deadly use of force cases involving police and black people. A lot of protests spiraled out of control across the country, police abandoning precincts, erupting in violence. And now state lawmakers here in Arizona are discussing a bill to try and crack down on rioters.
The question is, will it go too far? Some civil rights groups say it'll actually stifle free speech. Here's Max Gordon.
We are here because our lives matter.
It wasn't a big demonstration.
You'll see us on the street. People will see that they see themselves in me.
But it was a passionate one.
I mean, we're real hype. The vibe is good.
Organized by Southwest Center, around 50 people marched through downtown Phoenix Thursday to mark nearly 1 year since the death of George Floyd.
To kind of show our solidarity with this movement.
But now civil rights groups worry that a bill making its way through the state legislature could be trying to intimidate protesters like these.
The purpose of 2309 was to make people think twice before they attended a protest.
HB 2309 would make violent or disorderly assembly and other offenses associated with these groups a Class 6 felony.
The lawmaker behind this bill would say this is supposed to prevent rioting and looting. What do you say to that?
If those things actually occur, there are plenty of laws on the books currently that allow the police and prosecutors to charge folks who engage in that behavior.
Kevin Robinson, who retired after 36 years with Phoenix PD and spent 13 of them as assistant chief, says he thinks the bill is unnecessary.
It's not like that they can do these things and not get arrested for them. You know, that's not what occurs. So that's why I struggle to completely understand the rationale behind why you need all of these additional laws, because they're already there.
And back at the march, organizers say it could have a chilling effect on free speech.
I mean, if we want to march down the street peacefully and, just have our face out there in the community, we may lose some members or some people joining our cause because they're scared that this law could potentially damage them.
Max Gordon, Arizona's Family.
The Phoenix City Council this week narrowly approved a new office to oversee police misconduct investigations. And now groups are gearing up for a legal battle trying to keep this from becoming a reality because some say the new office violates a state law. Carissa Planalp's joining us live tonight to explain. Carissa?
The city of Phoenix is developing an all-civilian department that will give input on police misconduct investigations. But some law enforcement groups argue that the new law says that office should be made up of mostly police officers.
What they're doing will be illegal when this law is effective.
State House Representative John Kavanaugh sponsored a bill signed into law this month requiring police review boards to have at least 2/3 sworn officers as members.
Civilian Review Board.
Last night, the Phoenix City Council voted to establish an all-civilian office that will have a hand in police misconduct investigations. Kavanaugh is prepared for a court battle.
If they defy the law, I can ask the Attorney General to render an opinion as to whether or not they're defying the law. And if they are, we do an expedited case to the Arizona Supreme Court.
According to the city ordinance, employees of the Office of Accountability and Transparency and their immediate family members must not have history working for any law enforcement agency. The Arizona Police Association says any board recommending police policy or discipline should be made up of members familiar with the job.
Go to every other professional oversight board, whether that's lawyers, teachers, doctors, nurses, realtors, and look at the composition of all of their professional oversight boards, and you will see that they are similar.
Right off the bat, we have a perception problem.
Terry Blevins, a retired Arizona deputy, agrees police must have a seat at the table, but not so much that they drown out citizen voices. Blevins is part of the Law Enforcement Action Partnership advocating for police reform.
It looks like we're stacking the deck against any kind of reform or any kind of accountability.
The city would not comment on the potential for a lawsuit as it's conducting its own legal review. Legal analyst Monica Lindstrom predicts either side will ask a judge to put the issue on hold.
We have a state law that says X. We have a city trying to do Y. And that X and Y, they're not the same. They're in conflict.
And that legal analyst says if this goes to court, the state could have the upper hand unless the city attempts to limit the power of that new office. So we will keep you updated on this. For now, reporting live in Phoenix, Carissa Planelp for Arizona's Family.